Hi, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Well, this field is down to two babies right now, Chestnut there and Mr. O'Malley. And hopefully that means I'm going to get some more greening up of this pasture because there's fewer critters eating it. Mr. Snookums, he's having himself a little private penthouse here, which, if you notice where that plywood board is he's standing on the other side of, it's dry from that point towards him and soaking wet over here, which of course means that most of the moisture he has to drag himself through to get from where he's at to over here to get fed his grain, but he eats his hay right where he's at. Here's a little waffle iron. He's a waffle iron sticking his head through the fence there. Yes, Mr. Snookums, how you doing? Yes, Mr. Snookums, you doing alright? He's pretty much, from what I can tell, Anglo-Nubian or cross. Chestnut's Alpine and La Mancha cross. She's made some pretty babies, but most of her babies haven't survived. Makes really good milk, but of course some of her babies were inbred, so that was a problem. Hopefully in the future she won't have that problem because that person is no longer here. This is the sister. And there's waffle iron back over here. Here's a waffle iron. What's she doing? You go bounce around. Dinner. Yes. Don't beat him up. Yes. You can't have the camera. And there's Wuzzy jumping around, trying to get his mama's attention. Mama's dinner. Here's a Wuzzy. Yes. And then waffle iron jumping up in the hay crib over there. And Fuzzy's got her head out that door trying to chew on strings she shouldn't be chewing on. Now one difference I did this year is I decided to not disbud any of the boys because, well, they're not going to be in the herd more than a year. He looks at me like, what are you doing? Yes, Wuzzy. Yes. He likes to push against me when I sit down in the field. Candy, what you doing? Here's a Candy. And Raindrop and Snowflake. And babies, what you doing? And then Rotobag over here. And Rototiller, where's Rototiller? I don't see Rototiller. I see Daisy, and I see Jill, and I see Sal. Where's Rototiller? Huh. Is he hiding inside the hay crib? Can't see in there. Yeah, he may be hiding down in that little notch too. As long as he didn't get out of the field, that wouldn't be good. We wouldn't know where he was then. It would be kind of a rough deal. Yeah, so that's Raindrop right there. She's kind of got a little dark cloudiness to her. And that's Rutabaga right there. And that's Snowflake. I don't see Rototiller. Where's Rototiller? Did he get out? Oh, I see him. I just barely see his fuzz back in there. He's in that refrigerator box. Okay. He's around. I didn't want him to get out and get lost. Now, I haven't been doing a lot because, one, I've been really sick, and two, it's been really cold. But the weather has been really nice for about a week now, very near to. Really beautiful. It's like 64, 65 right now. And considering it's about the end of February, we have this kind of weather now and then. I remember one time on 17th February, one year it was 87 degrees. Really nice weather. So, yeah. Now I'm going to get over here, try to show you, to some extent, some of what I got done. But I'm intentionally not focusing on it until I get up close. Kind of on them deals, don't spoil it. Alright, so here's what we have. The entire well house that has been dismantled. The bond beam did not have any rebar in it whatsoever. Has 48 cement blocks of a 16 by 6 dimension. has that broken concrete slab, which I will leave in there as a form for a new concrete slab. And I'm going to go ahead and keep a tunnel underneath it. And the new floor casting will go out big enough that this wall section, which it was just going to be panels for temporary gates, temporary fence, and I may use that same design in the future for future fence work. But for right now, I'm going to use it for a wall. And so basically what I've got going on here is I've got this will have to be taken down so I can put the slab out. I have a corner post I put right here. That's going to be my reference. I'll get my laser in here and make certain everything's square. I'll cut everything off, get everything down so I can put my slab in. I have to go get my cement mixture, which is buried in some of the pole barns. I gotta go and move garbage around. It's gonna be a little bit of work, but I'm not afraid of any work as long as I'm not sick. Which right now I don't feel super sick. I'm not super well. Of course the gate's open because there's nobody in this field. That's the panel that it was laid up against the fence, but the wind knocked it over. So that's the prop that the pump motor was standing on when I was using the jet pump arrangement. That jet pump is now over here. I ain't about to throw it away. It's in perfect shape. It's absolutely effectively brand new. It hasn't run 5 whole minutes in its whole existence. So it's just fine. It's just not presently in use because of the fact that the foot on that thing's a mess. And it's cheaper to put a submersible pump in, plus more reliable. Now over here is that particular pump. And again, even though it was bought several years ago, it hasn't been run really. So it's in like new condition. So I'll save it for something. Scored me some of this Rust-Oleum floor epoxy. I bought this before. It was like $135 per kit. And, well, I don't know if these are the same kit, but I got these at Salvation Army for 50 bucks a piece. So, I figure what I'll do is I will take this stuff and I will use it and the other epoxy I have to go ahead and coat the new floor in the barn when I get that far, which is potentially a long ways off, unfortunately. Just due to the simple fact that I've got so much to do and they're so far behind. I gotta get that well house done though first. Now, as far as flowers go, not a massively drastic change yet. I think there's like 2 or 3 blooms. Over here, the lentils, again, I'm hoping they're lentils. They've taken some freeze damage, but they haven't died totally. It's just the goats haven't gotten up this far to devour them yet. And of course, the hyacinths and things are still poking their little tender shoots out of the ground. And the irises haven't really shot up yet. So, other than that, over here I think I've got one lone daffodil. And at least one. Okay, I've got. So this is my first flowers open for the year. Pretty soon there'll be hundreds of them though, thankfully. I don't see any opening of buds on the peach tree yet. I've seen this thing flower 3rd of February before, and in freezing weather. This year it seems to be taking its time. And I can need to ash it pretty soon for the spring season. Again, I got that tractor pretty much put together, except I haven't put the filter and the hood back on it yet. It's drivable. So I gotta get that cement mixer out of there, and to get it out of there, I have to get this kiln out of there first. Because of the fact that I've got to move all this stuff, which most of it isn't heavy. This is on wheels, thankfully. And a lot of the cans are just cans, and a lot of the stuff is not a big deal. It's just I gotta clear a path so I can get in there to that cement mixer. Odds are it won't be going back in there because I'll probably be using it a lot. And I'll probably just find a way to put a good tarp or some kind of cover over it. Put it under some other roof. Now I've got a lot of stuff that I haul in, as everybody knows. And that's pretty much the other thing that and I've got more stuff to haul. But and some people will be like, this is not even worth commenting on. I guess it all depends on what you're after. I got me a hide-a-bed frame, and it's in pretty good shape, all things considered. I've got a little damage here, but that's no big deal. I'm going to try to make myself a small ATV / small equipment lift out of it, mount it to the wall, and make it where I can lift up small like mowers and like that 3-wheeler or anything else I have to lift up to a height that I can work on. And I got some structural metal, various pieces. And then I've got another refrigerator. She throws one out just about every 2 years. And there's an old air conditioner and an old water cooler thing that I got. And I got some other stuff that I'll be bringing home probably tomorrow on Sunday. And then other than that, I don't know what else she'll give me, but I've got there's some roofing and the doors to this refrigerator. Well, I'm planning on doing with a lot of these refrigerators, possibly, I'm not for sure, so I might make them into little baby houses for the goats, because some of them are theoretically completely broken down and don't run no more, which is fine. They're insulated. They'll make a nice warm little rain-proof container to put babies in because of the fact that they are rain-proof. And even if they had little gaps, I can put just a little bit of silicone around any place you've got a joint or seam like this and you might worry about it raining in. Just put a little silicone on it and it'll just completely, but all the wrap around and everything, just make certain that it's all sealed, and then inside it's got insulation foam in it, so it can keep pretty warm. It gives them a little cubby for babies to hide in the cold weather and in the rain and stuff. And again, I've got 2 of these that are known to not run. One of them's supposed to run. I haven't gotten the door back on it or even plugged it in to see if it runs. Theoretically, all it needed was the door put back on it right, and that's the one that's facing away from us. I say facing away from us. This is one over here without a door. Back around there. Other than that, I unfortunately, like I said, I had to dispose of one of my favorite one, actually, sadly. And so I've got to finish that. I'm going to build this into an actual incinerator. I'll put a fan blower on it and a waste oil dribble feeder so that it burns down low. I'll put an actual grate on it so that the fan grate only works until it gets so hot that it melts, and then once it melts and sags, then it's pretty much useless. And it was a good idea, but it wasn't adequate material. So I'll put something on there, probably not these wheels, even though the tire part of the wheels are shot and the rims aren't all that great. I'll probably keep those for something else. I don't know, it just depends. That rim's pretty bad. I don't know. I may just scrap it and might make a grate out of it. I don't know. At least the spokes look straight, so they're straight steel of a uniform length of a large number. There's 2 of those. We shall see what we shall see. And, this is a fairly short video, but really not a lot happened this week, so there's not much to report on. So, nothing in the shop happened new. And nothing outside the shop happened new out here except for that stuff that I'll be throwing off tomorrow and then getting more to throw off. And then I'll report on that next Sabbath too. So y'all have a wonderful week, and have the rest of your Sabbath peaceful and joyful. Bye.